Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Couch Critics. I'm Lamia.
And I'm Ruby, and today we're reviewing the first part of the fourth season of Emily in Paris.
Yes, we're gonna review Emily in Paris.
Oui.
Emily in Paris is the new, it's not that new, but it's another show of Darren Star.
Yeah, Darren Star.
He's the producer of Sex and the City. Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There are a lot of resemblance with
Yeah.
Sex and the City. I mean, I've only saw a few clips of that show.
I watched a few episodes, and it's an old show, but it's timeless.
Is it worth the hype?
I think I don't know. It's a bit like Emily in Paris. It makes you think a lot, and it's very silly, but it's very fun. And it's a nice show to watch
because it's truly timeless. Like I hear people talking about it every year, and it never gets old. Also, the characters are older; they're in their 30s,
50s.
Yeah, but like during the first season, I heard recently that Carrie Bradshaw was 32 in the
when
show
they
when
started
they filming.
My God,
so
wow, yes.
That's really cool. I find
it is.
Yeah. So how do we start this?
Okay, so so Emily in Paris is a show about someone who works in marketing who travels from Chicago to Paris, and the show has been going on for 4 seasons. And in this 4th season, there's just a lot of happening. The 3rd season ended on quite a cliffhanger. There was Camille, who was getting married to Gabriel, who broke off the wedding during the wedding because she said that Gabriel was still in love with Emily. At the time, Emily was dating Alfie. So it's like a big, dramatic love triangle, or even like love square maybe at this point. There's 4 people involved. So first of all, can we talk about how the season was divided in 2? Because I still don't understand it. And I knew that it was divided in 2 when I started watching the series, but I was watching Cobra Kai a few weeks ago, which is a TV show that I really enjoyed watching when it first came out. And then at some point I realized that there was a cliffhanger, and they said it was the last season, and there was just no next episode. So I was just left very confused. I was a bit more ready with Emily in Paris. I knew that it had. But what is Netflix doing with these parted seasons? I just don't understand it.
It's frustrating. Were you disappointed with the fact that it was split in 2 parts for Emily in Paris?
For Emily in Paris, not really, because honestly, I don't even think that it ended on a cliffhanger. And I want to talk about that later, but I feel like the plot was very weak this season. The fashion is great, the cinematography is really good, but just the plot was okay. I mean, I kept watching the show because I enjoyed Lily Collins overacting, and I enjoyed the fashion, and I really liked the characters, but I think that the storyline was not its best. So no, I was not disappointed. I knew it was gonna be that way, and it's coming out in September, so it's not that far away.
Yeah. I have the same opinion as you when it comes to splitting shows into 2 parts. I think they did that with the 5th season of You, and I love that show. I love Pan Badgley, and I was really frustrated to just see that the show was split in 2, and you had to wait, and like it did not make sense. Like even Pan, like I told you last time, was saying in his podcast that he did not really agree with that. But, however, when it comes to Emily in Paris, I was relieved that it was split in 2, because I don't think that I had it in me to watch 5 more episodes of Emily. That show literally gave me anger issues, and I cannot wait to like just list the reasons why I hate Emily in Paris, because I don't think I've ever hated a show as much as I did with Emily. Like I just it makes me mad, like truly mad to watch it.
I think that's what's genius about the show. From the first season, people have been hating on it, and yet it's still going on for 4 seasons. Even if it's a bad show, people still watch it because of how bad it is. And I think the fact that you have good-looking actors, great designs, great places, great angles, great shooting, just makes it more bearable, even though the storyline, again, is not its best. But yeah.
I don't really agree with that. I don't think that the storyline is a problem. I mean, it's one of the big problem of this show, but the show overall is very, very, very problematic. I mean, it's very provocative, and when I watch stuff like, of course, like different things that you watch will provoke different emotions, but like I don't remember being that angry at anything that I've ever watched before watching Emily in Paris. And I want to go back to the plot, like the basic plot of Emily in Paris. So, like as you said, Emily Cooper is this marketer who works in Chicago. Then she goes to Paris because she wants to work in this firm to, like, basically her job is to give them an American point of view. Anyways, she goes to Paris, like she starts to experience France and like the French culture and everything, and then like she just gives the worst representation to everything that's not American, whether it's Ukrainians, French people, Asians. It's very shocking, I find, to get away with as many I would say racist stuff because I don't know, like it's they're making they're romanticizing racism, I think. I don't know.
I don't know, are they romanticizing it or embracing it? Because it is out there, so I'm just trying to sell it in a better way. Listen, there's racism in the world. Let's just put it in our show.
To be honest, okay, I'm gonna be honest. When I watched the first season, I kind of liked it because to me, when I watched the first season, I was like, this show is not for French people. This show is for people who don't live in France, who maybe went to France, but like they didn't like stay there long enough to know what it's like, what it's really like. So I was okay with like seeing the American point of view of someone who's experienced in Paris, because like when you go to a different country, like if I go to New York, I'm not gonna go to like a random street. I'm gonna look up places where Gossip Girl was shot, and I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna think for half a second that like this is New York. But if you stay anywhere for an extended amount of time, you start to just like I don't know, like to experience the real life out there, and
Yeah,
you have two options. You can either try to embrace the culture there, or you can try to force your own beliefs on the people who live there. And
but
I
that
feel
won't
like,
work.
well, that's what Emily's has been
Yeah,
doing for 4 seasons, and it's very problematic.
yeah,
I think.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it starts with just everybody having to speak English around her. I think that's where the biggest
Mm,
problem is. She's in a French country. She's been there for what, 4 seasons, 4 years,
yeah,
and she still hasn't learned 2 words of French. Come on, like you can do better. You're a smart girl.
absolutely. And also, when the show came out, they before it came out actually, before the first season came out, I think I remember if it was Lily or Darren, but one of them said that the show is a love letter to Paris, and I don't see the
Yeah.
love. Like if I'm someone who has never met a French person in my life, and I've never been to Paris, I like and I watched Emily in Paris. Like the only thing that I would think about French people is that they're unprofessional, dirty, condescending, stupid. I don't know, masochists, and I don't see the love in this. Yeah, because this is how they're portrayed. Every French character on that show is portrayed this way. I don't see any good quality in any French character in Emily in Paris. Emily is there to prove to everyone that she's a hero. She's always the one who solves the problems. She's always the one who come up with the solution. And why aren't the other characters doing anything beside proving to the audience that they're mediocre compared to Emily?
I actually don't see it this way. I felt like, especially during this last season, Emily has been causing so much trouble. And what really bothered me is that she was never held accountable. Like every mistake she did somehow turned out into something, like something good turned out of it. And it just felt wrong for me. It just didn't make sense. And that's also what bothered me in the script.
Mm.
They had so many opportunities to have conflict in the series, and every time something big would sparkle, they would just let it go easily. For
Yeah.
example, when Mindy told Emily about this room and this at JVMA, or like this whole scandal thing. Emily went out, told Sylvie, and then Sylvie told Mindy, "Oh, thank you for telling Emily." And then Emily was shocked. She was like, "Oh, Emily told you that? That was supposed to be a secret."
Yeah.
And then Mindy never held Emily accountable
Yeah.
for she like Emily ended up looking like you said like the hero for proving it. Also, about that whole plot, I don't know if the show is trying to spread like a whole feminist agenda or whatever, talking about what happened with Sylvie and JVMA, but it just didn't felt like the right place to do so. I felt like they took a very serious issue and they just talked about it for an episode and a half.
Mm.
Sylvie didn't even have had a confrontation with Louis,
Yeah.
who was with whom she was against, and they just let it slide so easily. And I'm like, if you don't want to give something that important the attention it deserves, just don't talk about it. Emily
Hmm.
in Paris is not a show that's fighting for women's rights or anything. It's a fun show, it's a light show. If you want to have like spread a message or do something big to help the feminist cause or whatever, make a movie like Le Consentement. But I feel like they ridiculized something that's very important, and that's really frustrated me.
I think there is an agenda out there because speaking of women's rights, they completely went against women's rights in season 3 of Emily in Paris. I don't know if you remember, but there was this very shocking scene with a character called Petra. She's an Eastern European actress. Not, I
Yes.
don't know if the actress is from there, but like the character is Eastern European. She's Ukrainian. This character meets Emily during French class,
And they end up shoplifting
and they
together.
end up shoplifting together. But it's Petra actually initiates the
Yeah,
shoplifting,
yeah.
and Emily is the one who makes the right thing and actually tries to
Right.
convince Petra to pay for her stuff. But I feel
Sure.
like this is such a setback for Eastern European women who have fought for so hard to like not be portrayed in the media as gold diggers and as shoplifters, because this is how a lot of media has made them look
Yeah.
over the years. And like, I don't know, like call me crazy, but I feel like when you're making jokes about a race, and when the only race that's concerned about the joke or the joke is not laughing, it's probably not funny.
That's
So
true.
I don't know. And a lot of like Ukrainian influencers came out to talk about this, and they were really mad about that representation in Emily in Paris. And yeah, that wasn't the only bad representation on the show. I don't know if you remember, but like in season 1, Mindy, Ashley Park's character,
Yeah.
the best friend, she was making the wildest jokes about Asians.
Yeah, like how her dad was rich because he does zippers for jeans or something like that.
Yeah, and like it goes way, way more offensive than that. I don't want to quote them, but there are a lot of Asian, a lot of jokes, not like more specifically about Chinese people. And
Okay.
when I looked up Ashley Park's race, she's Korean, and like it's not the same. And
I love this.
like okay, like
She's Korean.
Ashley Park's Korean, her character is Chinese, and even if she was Chinese, like it's why would you be so condescending against your own race? And yeah,
Because she's not Chinese, that's why.
maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. And also speaking like that's gonna be my last point about representation. I was very mad to not see any North African actor on that show, because like Paris is one of the top 10 most diverse cities in the
Right.
world, and there are a lot of cities in the planet, so I mean a lot of races should have been represented. And I think that there are a lot of North Africans who live in
Yeah.
France, and so I would have wanted at least one character. But to be honest, is it a good idea to have like a North African? Maybe they just like make him be like a thief or something like crazy to offend us.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad that there's no North
Yeah.
Africans for that reason. I would not have wanted to hear them like say anything bad about.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was mad about the lack of representation, but then I'm
yeah.
like,
It's a Dutch
they're gonna
bullet.
come out with the wildest
Jokes.
jokes, and it's probably gonna be extremely wild and offensive. So you know what, Darren Star, just it's fine. We forgive you.
Thank you for not. Yeah, it's true. Like when I think of it, most of my friends from Lebanon are presently in Paris. I'm pretty sure if you go to Paris and you
Yeah.
speak Arabic, you're gonna just manage just fine because there's so many people from all around the world.
Also, like speaking of the first season, because like the first season really hit me. There was this whole joke about I don't know if we're allowed to say this on YouTube about grooming when Emily had a relationship with this underaged kid who happened to be Camille's brother, and it was
Right,
everyone made it look like a joke, and Camille was like, "Ha ha ha! Like you had this with my
right.
brother." And
Yeah.
I don't think it's that funny.
No, but like the thing is that the whole family didn't think it was a big deal, and the only person who thought it was a big deal was Emily because she didn't know his age. And again, Emily trying to look like a hero when she's the one who committed the crime, literally.
No,
That's
like
just,
she literally tried to look like a victim, like she was the
yeah.
one who didn't know that. But oh my god, this is why this show gives me anger issues. It's just so problematic, and I don't think that the writers and the director realize that how problematic it is and how offensive it is to everyone.
I think they've realized it, but they're too far to come back.
Mhm.
So now they're just embracing it and they're going further because
Yeah.
it's been like this since season one, and yet the show has still been going on. People were still watching it, and it worked for them because
Mhm.
people were talking so much about the show, whether it was good or bad. It just kept going.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Do you want to like talk about the characters?
I love the characters. Yes, I really like the characters. Who are your favorite characters? I'd be very
Oh,
curious to know.
I really like Sylvie. I think she's my favorite just because she's the most sane, and I just love her for that. I don't know the name of the actress who plays her, but she's doing such a great job. And I really like Camille Reza. She plays Camille. Her name is
Yeah.
also Camille. And despite Darren's best effort to ruin her character, I still like her. I don't think she's the bad guy in this show. I think that she's
Camille?
the victim and that she deserves a whole other show about her made by a French person.
I really liked Camille in the first season. I think she was the friendliest, nicest person. She was the only nice person to
Yeah.
Emily at the time. And the fact that Emily in this show ratted her out because she was living with Gabrielle, it just, Emily kept doing bad and bad thing one after the other and she kept getting away with it. It really got to me. But my two favorite characters would be Sylvie and Luc. Luc, I think he's the most unproblematic, most like random person. He just says whatever pops to his mind and he doesn't care. And I think the
Mhm.
actor really did a good job playing that kind of character. So yeah,
What do we think of Gabriel?
Gabriel is this dreamy guy. They want to make him look perfect and everything. I don't know. I don't buy it that much. I don't know.
So you liked him?
Not really. No, I don't like him. I just think they really did a big effort trying to make him look dreamy and nice and perfect, but I just don't buy it. I don't think
I don't see the
people
dream.
are this way. No, I think he's very charming,
Mhm.
and he's a chef. I don't know. It's just yeah. He's quiet. He doesn't get mad at anybody. Like he's in the most random like relationship with Camille, with Emily, with everyone, and he's
Yeah.
still like he's cool with everything. He just doesn't care. I know. I just
Mhm.
he's missing. He needs to have a coffee, I think.
Yeah.
That's what he
More like
needs.
10 coffees, 10 shots of
He
coffees.
needs more energy.
Yeah. But like this was the same thought that I had, especially after this season. I don't know what happened to Luca Bravo during this whole show, but I remember that he had a little bit more energy during season
Yeah.
one. He was a little bit more charming. Like you could see the appeal, but ever since season two, like he's a ghost. He's only there to serve the love interests of Emily, and also during this last part that came out. he's just not trying at all. He's not trying to act. He's an
His
actor who's
restaurant,
not acting
his
on
restaurant is
screen.
starring him a
It's
lot.
not even about the character, it's about the actor. He's
Yeah.
not trying. I remember, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like at a certain point, Emily goes to him to tell him that his pregnant girlfriend is missing, and he's just like, Emily, Camille, she disappeared. And
She disappeared.
he's the most calm. And then Emily finds Camille, and he's like, "Oh, that's good. You found Camille. I heard." Like, same tone, same voice, and he kept the same energy during the entire season. And he's just not trying. Like, you should be fired. You should be just bring back Alfie. I don't know. He's
I like
useless
Alfie.
in the show, but at least he's a better actor, I
He's
think.
passionate. He gets
About
mad.
what?
No, he gets
About
mad.
his hate for Paris?
No, about Emily loving Gabriel.
Of course he's passionate about Emily. What else could he be passionate about?
What else is there in Paris besides Emily?
Besides Emily and Paris? Who is there to this? Ashley Park. I know we mentioned her, but
I don't know. I don't know. I don't care.
she plays
I like her
Mindy.
voice. I like her voice. I think she's this classical friend. Like she's this classical supporting character. What really bothered me with her is her love story with Nicola. I just couldn't buy it. I couldn't buy the romance. I couldn't buy them being a couple. I just didn't understand it. And at some point, she was supposed to have like a moment while she's singing on stage with her other co-singer, and I was like, I don't see it. Like, if Luke didn't mention it, I wouldn't have even seen a chemistry.
Yeah.
So I think it's just too much pushed. They're pushing things on us that we don't see in the acting. And if it was great acting, you wouldn't have needed to talk about it. Like, you wouldn't have needed Luke to narrate what's happening.
Yeah.
It would have been seen right away.
I feel like they're trying to push a whole musical career for Ashley Park in that show, and it's just not working. I don't see the use of Ashley Park as not Ashley Park. I like Ashley Park as a human. I don't see the use of Mindy as a character, and also I find Ashley Park's deliveries during this last season very bizarre. Like, it's just very robotic, and it's a very weird way of delivering. It's like she's narrating, but like in a very weird way, and there is no comedic time in between her and the other characters. There is no flow. There is no, like, something's missing. A lot of things are missing, and I don't know why this show gets renewed. Okay, maybe it's for the fashion, but honestly, I know you like the fashion. I don't think it's that great. I don't think that's that great.
I think it's a movie walk show. You know how like fashion runways, you never understand them, and like people are wearing all of these random things. I think that's Emily in Paris, but with like with
you know
like
what?
speeches
It
and
doesn't
talking.
go with the plot. Like, at least for Sex and the City, Sarah Jessica Parker was very into fashion and everything.
Yes.
But Emily's not. Like, Emily works in a marketing agency, and she goes out dressing like, I don't know, like she's going to the Met Gala, and it makes the whole thing very cliche, you know, like.
That's true. I saw once an Instagram reel. It was hilarious. Somebody did the math of what it's costing Emily to dress up in all of these clothes and what it's costing her to eat at all of these restaurants, and how like the average of what someone who works in a marketing firm makes. And they were like, Emily is broke. Like, how is she affording this?
Did you see her apartment?
But yeah.
Anyways, again, we're not French, and but
I think
we're
more
just
familiar with the French culture that like an American would be. I mean, we do speak French, and we've.
And also, I think that we did have the same Emily in Paris experience, because like we both moved from a different place, and we live in Canada now, and at no moment we were like, oh, we like the people around us should adapt to us.
Yeah,
we had.
I never started speaking Arabic to anyone. I sometimes feel bad for speaking English in Montreal.
So I don't know, like this I think the silver lining is that if you go to another country and you plan to work there, study there, live there. Maybe you should try to adapt to people and not make them adapt to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, this show is making me hate Lily Collins, and I love Lily
Oh, I
Collins.
love her, and I think she was great, and I think she's doing a great job. But I also want to talk about her acting because
Mhm.
a lot of the times I felt like it was too much, like her expressions with her eyebrows, her screaming at people out of nowhere. I remember she yelled at someone. I don't even remember who, but like she was yelling at someone at some point during the show, and it just didn't make sense. And I think Lily Collins is doing a great job at making people not like Emily. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the goal is to antagonize
Mhm.
Emily in some way, but I just don't get it. I think that's the point. Lily is doing a great job. If
But
she's
like,
trying to make us
I don't
like
see
Emily,
what they would gain from that, and also from like the stuff that I read online. The showrunners and the actors, they did not expect the show to be as hated as it is right now, because they truly thought that Emily would be received as a hero, that people would perceive her that way. And I think that I'm not against having a character have their own flaw and be a little bit Machiavellian,
yeah,
but they need to either just be that and own it, or they need to be self-aware.
I that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
Emily lacks self-awareness. At no point she goes back and she says, "Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that to Sylvia. Oh,
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't have done that to that person." But she just keeps she knows she makes a mistake and she keeps getting like it keeps getting worse and worse. And like it's also like the last episode, the girl who was selling skincare company, they should have told that it's not a product
yeah.
that's supposed to be used on face, and instead Emily suggested that they raise the price, and I'm like, who in their right mind would
Would
do
do
that? It
that.
doesn't make sense. I mean,
Yeah,
this is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
yeah.
Maybe that's the part too.
I feel like if she was just a villain, people would like her so much more. If she
Yeah,
was just like, okay, I am the way I am. I do all of these things. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm unapologetic, and I'm not trying to do the right thing. Because we did have, antagonists like this in other shows. I'm thinking
mhm,
about Blair Waldorf,
yeah,
Damon from Vampire Diaries,
yes,
and they were unapologetic. They
yeah,
knew they had a bad side, but like
mhm.
they were presented as what they were. But I feel like right now we're being called dumb for not understanding the depth of Emily in Paris and the reasons as to why she does the things that she does. And yeah.
I do want to talk about the cinematography though,
Mm,
because there was a scene where Emily was going down the stairs to tell on Gabriel and Camille that they're all living together, how the camera was following her, and there were a lot of scenes where I felt a huge inspiration from Wes Anderson, and I think that it was done perfectly. I
mm,
like the colors, I like the directing, I think it's good. It's just the script, it's missing something. And I feel like the characters, they have such a good base. Like the characters are stereotypical characters,
mm.
but like they're it makes sense. I mean, they could do so much more with them than just like put any plot with it.
It's such a Darren Star point of view, because we're not gonna say that like all Americans think this way and like don't know how the world is, because I don't know, it's just really weird. But yeah, I'm not really excited to watch like the 5 other episodes that are
I
coming soon.
am. I'm really excited to watch them. I think they're gonna be very underwhelming and there will be no cliffhanger, and that's
It's a
good.
guilty pleasure,
It's a
actually. Yeah.
guilty pleasure, yes. So yeah, I think that sums it up for Emily in Paris.
I think so too.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next week.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.